Hello guys and welcome to F1 Elite League. This is round 14 of season 2. We are in USA for this round. This is for Division 1 of the league, and it appears to be a little bit damp for Q1. Obviously we only have 15 drivers, so they should all make it through um, to Q2, as obviously only the bottom 5 get eliminated from Q1, so um, I'll just have to commentate on what there is for now, but things will get a little bit more exciting as we enter through the Q2. But it does look a little bit damp right now for Q1, so that's going to be very interesting. Obviously, USA is quite a tricky track, but it has got two very long straights with overtaking opportunity on both straights. So I get up the rest of the stuff for you, so you can pay attention to what people are using and what tyres they are on. Obviously, I imagine everybody is on intermediate chassis. Right, so who is the first one out? That looks to be a Williams, which is Shea. So we'll stay on board with Shea in the Williams on his outlap for obviously just setting some times down in Q1. Just get the grips with the track and get yourself used to the corners and whatnot. Always good to have some extra practice in before you go on to Q2. Now I believe 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Yeah, so all drivers should get through to Q2. As we are missing a few drivers today, but I'm sure that is not a problem. And anyway, so I'm just sorting out a few extra things, and hopefully by the time Q2 comes, it'll be all ready and very enjoyable to watch. But I wonder if it is raining for Q2 and for Q3. I'm just going to ask that now. You can see Shea in the Williams there, just getting a little bit out of shape of the rear end, but obviously in these weather conditions, I imagine a few drivers will be getting a little bit out of shape, as the wet weather is going to prove a very tricky challenge for the drivers. But we'll see if the rain is still with us in Q2 and 3. I imagine it will be, as the session is very close to each other. But you never know, it might die down and the track might dry up, but we will see. But anyway, we'll stay on board with Shea as he starts his hot lap of round 14, and we'll see what times he can reduce down, and we can see the pace of the drivers in the wet conditions, as I imagine it will be switched up a little bit between drivers. Obviously some will be stronger in the wet than others, so that will play a massive part, and maybe might even turn the championship around, as obviously there is only around, let me get it up for you. I will check how many points is between Pova and Sandman, who are currently P1 and 2 in the championship. So there is 50 points between them with 4 rounds to go. So 50 points is quite a high amount, but obviously all to play for. All it takes is the 2 retirements for Pova and Sandman to win both races, and then they'll be back on level terms. But this wet weather might prove to help one of the drivers more than the other, so we'll see how that plans out. You see Shea saying purple sector 2. I would hope so, because he's the first car out, so he should get fastest lap as long as he doesn't invalidate. So Shea will come across the line as he enters turn 20, and we'll see what time he can put down. It's looking like it's going to be around a 40, a high 140, so it's a 147.9. So we'll see what times other drivers are producing. I believe there is a break coming across the line now. Oh, he has just started his lap. There's an AlphaTauri behind him. Now that will be Heppy, who has just started his lap. And Potro, you are on a lap. What time are you going to do as you come across the line? It is a 150.3. I did see him go a little bit wide, so he might be struggling in these conditions. So we'll see how he does throughout the rest of this session. Now that is an Aston Martin coming through. That is simple, and he is on an outlap. So we will now hop on board with Racing Wheel, as I believe he is on our lap, and he'll be the next one to cross the line in the Alpine. We'll see what time he can produce in the Alpine in Q1. Not the fastest sector 2, so we know this isn't a P1 time as it stands, or maybe he's only a few tenths off P1, but doesn't look to be like he's actually pushing. So I imagine he's gone for another warm-up lap, as he does have an Alfa Romeo behind him, and that will be Henk, I believe. Yes, that'll be Henk, who is on our lap. So we'll see how this goes for Racing, because he is kind of in the way a little bit. You can see there, just slap bang in the middle of the track. Maybe just struggling a little bit in the Alpine, but Henk will go through to set a 152.4. Now obviously that time was affected by the Alpine driver at Racing Wheel. Obviously both on hot laps, and both did not want to give up their hot lap. Sometimes it happens where two drivers just get quite close to each other. But there is now a Mercedes, no, an Alpine coming across the line. Now it is Tibran, who has set a 149.2. Next to cross the line will be Bray, I believe, who has set a 148.3, and then we'll have the AlphaTauri of Heppy, who has set a 149.6, and that is a Red Bull that has spun on turn 19 and 20. That is Potro going into the pits there, obviously doing a couple spins for us as he goes into the pits. But anyway, there is now an Aston Martin driver coming up to the line. That'll be Simple, who enters now turn 18, going on to 19. We'll see what time he produces in that Aston Martin. As he comes around the final corner, it's looking like it's going to be around a 149, and he sets a 150.1. So I was almost right, but that's enough for P5 as it stands. Obviously, all drivers will be going through to Q2. But next across the line looks like it will be a Mercedes, and that'll be Neil, just about to start his hot lap. But next up will be Nesh, I believe, who has just set fastest sector 2. Now I don't know if that's telling the truth or not, but I'm sure we'll find out sooner rather than later, as he's only got 4 more corners to go. Currently sat in P7 with a 151.5. So Shea right now sitting at a 147.9, was a very quick time indeed compared to the rest of the drivers. He does have Bray 4 tenths off of him in P2, but it looks like Nesh is right behind that Alpine. And is that Racing Wheel again? It looks like it is. So just getting caught up again with Racing Wheel. So Nesh was looking like it probably would have been around a 148 possibly. But yeah, Racing Wheel is kind of driving like there's no other car on track, and that Heavy sets a 148.9. That's enough to take P3 as it stands. But anyway, where is Neil? Neil is coming along the back straight now, so we'll see how he is doing through sector 2. And he sets the fastest sector 2 of a 110.9, so a 10.9. So we'll see what time he does as he crosses the line. As Simple sets a 149.2, so that's a very solid time to put his Aston Martin in P4. Obviously, 1,000ths, no, 100ths, sorry, up on T-Ran in the Alpine right now. But Neil comes across the line to set the fastest time so far in Q1, which are 147.5, so 4 tenths quicker than Shade. That is quite a big difference, but obviously in the wet it is a lot more uh, what's the word to use? A lot. The difference between times is a little bit more bigger. So, but 4 attempts is still quite a big gap. So good job to Neil so far, setting the quickest time in Q1. Now, who is next? Pova is currently going through sector 2. He is set a 1:10.8, which we know is 1/10 quicker than Neil. So we will see what time he does as he comes across the line now as he's going through sector 3. As he swings his car around turns 16 and 17. Sorry, 18 and 19. No, 16, 17 and 18 now onto 19 into 20. What time is it going to be from the McLaren driver? He comes across the line. I can't see. It's enough to take P4 with a 1:48.6. He must have lost a bit of time during sector 3 there as he was 1/10 up on Neil as he went into sector 3. So we will now hop on board with Monty in the Ferrari as he's also yet to set a time. He comes across the line, he comes across sector 2 with a 1:12.9, so he's currently around 2 seconds off the pace to Neil, so this could be looking like a 1:49 for him. So as he comes around turn 20 now, it's looking like he's going to go wide a little bit, and that's going to be a 150. A 150.5, so it's enough to take P10 as it is. Obviously, if he did not run wide there, he could have been looking at around P8. So who is next to come across the line? Looks like Pova will he be going into the pits? No, he's gone for another lap. Oh no. So we'll hop on board with, I believe that is Sinful on a lap, but he has invalidated. So who is the next one to be able to cross the line? Looks like Neil will be, but he is not improving on his time. He is 5 tenths down currently as it stands. And the next one will be Motti in the Ferraris going along the back straight right now. He's currently 6 tenths down on his time, but he still has half the track to gain on his time. We'll see if he can improve by any means throughout the rest of this lap. So he comes across the end of sector 2, and it is a 1:13.9, so 9 tenths off his previous time. So it doesn't look like he's going to be improving. That's an Alpine outlap will be T-Ran, and behind him will be Nesh, both on outlaps, and behind them will be Pova. Now I imagine Pova has invalidated. That's not good to see. So we will hop on board with somebody else. We'll stay on board with Monty as he comes across the line very shortly. 2 more turns to go, and we'll see what time he is set in. Comes across the line. It's not an improvement on his time, but it's still a decent time. Being set from the Ferrari driver. We will now hop on board with a driver who has just started their hot lap, and that will be the Alpine driver of T-Ran. So T-Ran in the Alpine, what time will he be setting through sector 2? It is a 1:11.9, so it's not the fastest we've seen. So the fastest lap stuff is lying to us. It's not doing us a good job. But he's still looking like a decently quick time. We'll see if he can improve on his time as he comes across the line very shortly. Just got to go through 17 and 18 now, and then on to 19, and then round the final corner of turn 20. And he's invalidated. I need to pay more attention to if they've invalidated or not. So we will hop on board with somebody else. I believe Nesh was the next car to come across the line in the Ferrari. What time will he be setting? As he's currently going through turn 19 behind him, is Heppy in the AlphaTauri behind him, and then they have Pova just behind them. So Nesh is going to come across the line to set a 1:50.8, so cannot improve on his time. Heppy will be going across the line to set his time. No, he will not. He will be going into the pits, and Pova comes across the line to set a 1:46.8, so that is the quickest time overall by 3 tenths. So a solid time from him, set in the McLaren. Who else have we got? Henk is improving by 6 tenths, so we'll stay on board with Henk in the Alfa Romeo and see what time he can do. So it's only 1 minute 30 seconds left of this session, and we are on to Q2, and there will be at least 3 drivers eliminated from that qualifying session. Then we'll be moving on to the top 10, where we'll all be going out on softs, and we'll see who is the fastest of the bunch. But Henk ends sector 2 with 9 tenths up on his time, so he could be looking at a possible P8 here as it stands in Q3. So Henk now comes around the final corner. It will be a 140. Does run a little bit wide and does invalidate, so that will be his lap ruined. It was a 1:49.666, which would have been enough for P8, but unfortunately he has invalidated it, and that will be his lap time ruined. But nevertheless, Q1 is not the one that matters as it stands. You don't want to be invalidating in Q2 or 3 though. Now that will be Nesh coming into the pits. Pova will also be coming into the pits, so the last driver we'll have to wait for is Henk to come into the pits. As the Q1 session is now over, we just have to wait for Henk to bring his Alfa Romeo around the track into the pits. So apology guys, I have not been talking much through Q1. That's just because I want to save my voice for the race. So at the end of the race, I'm normally voice is gone. So I don't want to knock myself out now, and obviously all the cars will be going through the Q2 anyway. But it should get a little bit more exciting now, as we will have 3 drivers being booted out of Q2. You can see there Sandman not even setting the time, but that's because he knows he is through anyway. So 3.6 seconds separates the top 10, so that's quite a big difference. but hopefully we will see that come down over the course of this qualifying session. So it does look like it will be raining in Q2 as well, so that's going to be very interesting for the drivers, as we have a rough idea of where they are among the comparison to the other drivers on the grid as it stands. But we will see 3 drivers removed from this session, not from the race, but obviously from qualifying, who will not be able to advance onto Q3. And obviously 10 drivers will be advancing to Q3. But I believe that's already a Mercedes out now. Which Mercedes is that? It looks to be Sandman. So Sandman already out. Obviously did not set a lap time in Q1. So he'll be going out on his out lap now to warm up the tyres, make sure they're at the right temperature, and then I'm sure we'll see a very decent time from him this session, as he's currently sat in P2 on the championship. But as we've also seen, Pova has also got a lot of pace in the wet, setting the quickest time in Q1 by 4 tenths in the McLaren, our championship leader, so good job to him, showing his pace in the wet as it stands. Now, I do not know if the race will be wet or not, but that'll be another interesting factor. So, Sandman in the McLaren has turned 17, 18, 19 and 20 to go before his hot lap will be started, and we'll see what times he can produce in that Mercedes, which will be very interesting to see, as we know he has got a lot of pace in his car, but we have not seen him yet in the wet, so we're about to find out how good he really is. The race is dry. Okay, that will be very interesting to see later on, how the drivers, obviously some will be better in the wet than the dry, so that might make a few more battles among the race, which will make it more entertaining for us to obviously watch. So good news for us there. Obviously Sandman now going through the windy section of USA, which is turn 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, which you have to get absolutely right. If you go into the entry of turn 4 wrong, then you are going to almost ruin the rest of your S section. But it looks like Sandman has got it pretty much sorted. Obviously, we did hear him lifting off the throttle a little bit. But so far, so good for Sandman going into turn 11. Now you want a good exit out of here, as you want to get a nice long straight speed along the back straight. Obviously, they do not have DRS, as it is raining. But Sandman now coming into turn 12 to end his sector 2 lap. We'll see what time he has done. It looks like he comes across to do a 1:10.3 so far through sector 2 and 1. So we know that is a very quick time compared to the other drivers that what was being set in Q1. But we'll see what time he ultimately produces as he comes around turn 17 and 18 now. So just turned 20 to go, looking like he is on the edge of the track limits, using all the track he possibly can, and he comes across the line to do a 1:46 flat. So this is going to be a real championship fight that we're going to have on our hands here, because we know that in Q1 Pova also done a 146, and you can see him coming out of the pits just there. So this is going to get very interesting indeed when we head to Q1. Hank setting a 155.6. Is that going to be enough to keep him in the top 10? Obviously, he's still got 10 minutes to set more laps, so not a problem for him. Poirot comes across the line to set a 148.6. Brait sets a 148.2, and in front of him is the AlphaTauri of Heppy, who goes into P2 with a 148.2 as well. Obviously, 600ths up on Brait. Oh, my maths is terrible. 700ths up on Brait as it stands. Nesh also comes across the line to set a 149.8. Now, next across the line, I believe that is T-Ran, and behind him is the Mercedes of Neil. So we'll see what time these two are setting as Neil comes across the final corner of turn 20 just now. We'll see what time he is saying. Done it to be a very quick time. He's in the 2 minutes, so 2 minutes 6 for T-Ran. Neil will come across the line to do a 148.1. That moves him up into P2, pushing Heppy and Brait down into P3 and 4. Next across the line looks like it is Simple, so we'll see what time the Aston Martin driver will produce and put onto the board for us in Q2. As he comes across the line, it's looking like a 149.1. That's enough to take P6 just ahead of Nesh and Henk. Next across the line is a Mercedes, and I believe that'll be Sandman who's coming in from his lap, but after that that'll be Pova, who'll be going on to start his hot lap very shortly. Behind Pova, it looks like we have got Henk. Now, is Henk up on his time? Yes, he is, by 5 seconds. How much time can he gain through these last two corners to try and put himself into a competitive position to make it through to Q3? As Henk comes around the final corner, what time is it going to be? It's looking like a 149.8. So just enough to sneak ahead of Nesh there in the Ferrari by 100ths of a second. But behind them, it looks like we have got Shea coming across that line. That's a 147.1. That's enough to put his Williams car into P2. Behind them, we have Racing Wheel in the Alpine, who will be coming across the line very shortly, and we'll see what time he'll be putting down, as he's got a Ferrari right behind him. But Racing Wheel will come across the line to put down a 157.9. That puts him at risk of moving down into the, what do we call them? The relegation places. Eliminated from Q2. There we go. But who is next across the line? It looks like that will be Neil. Was it Neil? Yeah, it was Neil, who has just set a 146.6, so 6 tenths off of his teammate. Behind him was T-Ran, who I imagine just set a time, a 153.2, so maybe he's taking another lap, 2-1 for his tyres. Simple come across the line, doesn't look like he is improved. No, sorry, he's just started his hot lap. Looks like Sandman is also coming around now. He is 1/10 up on his time. We'll see what he can ultimately do as he comes across the line. Sandman sets a 145.9, so our first driver into the 145s, but will Pova match that as Pova comes across the line? It's a 148.1, so not as quick as what we've seen in Q1, so maybe just hang back a little bit. Don't want to show too much pace in qualifying, but that will still be enough to get him through to Q1 as it stands. Now, Motti is still in the pits. I'm not sure what he's doing. Maybe he's gone for a poo. Who knows? But it's still yet to set a time in Q2. But anyway, Shea now moves up into P2 with a 146.6. That is 400ths. Sorry, 300ths almost. Over 300ths. Ahead of Neil in the Mercedes. But next across the line, it looks like it is Henk, and Henk has had an issue. No, he's going into the pits. Never mind, no issues there. The next driver to come across the line, it looks like it is an Alpine, which will be Racing Wheel, and he's drifting around turn 19. It looks like he will be then going into the pits, same as Neil, I'd imagine, who is also going into the pits. Now, what is T-Ran doing? Is he on a lap? No, he is invalidated. Next to come across the line will be Simple. Now, what is Simple doing? We'll see what time he is producing very shortly, as it does look like a pretty competitive time. So swinging the car now around turn 19, then heading on to turn 20. What time is Simple gonna put down, as he is only 3 places away from the elimination slot? But never mind, He's improved on his time by 1 second, which is enough to put that Aston Martin into P4 as a very comfortable position there for Simple. Now, what is Pova doing? Pova is 2 tenths up on his time. So let's see what time he produces as he comes across the line. It's looking like it is going to be a 1:47, a 1:46.8. So he gained 1.3 seconds through the final sector there. He must have had a little issue last time round, as it said through sector 2 on 1. He was only 2 tenths up on his time, but that's enough to put his McLaren up into P4. Obviously, currently as it stands, 8 tenths off his championship rival's pace, but like I say, Q2 is all about getting through to the top 10, not getting first. Q1 is all about getting first, and then obviously the race is even more about getting first. But Motti is finally done with his poo. We'll imagine that he went for a poo, and now he is out on track with only 4 minutes left, so he's not really got the time to help him by any means, but we will come back to him very shortly, as I believe Heppy's coming across the line, but Heppy is starting a hot lap, so we'll come back to Heppy once he crosses the line once again. Now, is that an Aston Martin? That is the Aston Martin going fast? No, it's not. Pova, are you going fast? Nope, you're 1 tenth down on your time. I imagine you'll be coming in this lap. Who knows? And that is another Ferrari at the back there. I believe that will be next on a fast lap. Yes, it's coming onto the back straight now, using all the track he possibly can. So into turn 12 goes Nesh. We'll see what time he is setting through sector 2 and 1. 1 and 2. He is 8 tenths up on his time. So he is the driver at risk as it stands, and with Motti on a lap, which is also his Ferrari teammate, he is in need of putting in a quicker lap time, and as it stands, he is doing so, which will be enough to move him up into P9 and push Hank down into P10. At the current pace he is going, but we'll see what Nesh can do through the final sector. As we do know, he did get held up by the Alpine driver of Race Mill through here last time. So as Nesh comes across the line, what is it going to be? He does run wide, but I don't think that's going to affect his time too much. It is still enough for P8 with a 1:48.3. Next across the line is an Alpine. I believe they are on a outlap. Then we have Potrow crossing the line. He is also on an outlap. So we will hop on board with... We have an AlphaTauri now. Happy. We said we'd come back to you, and now he is 2 tenths up on his time as it stands, which would be enough to move him up into P6 ahead of the Aston Martin driver of Simple, who's currently sat in the pits. But that AlphaTauri driver comes across the line very shortly. It's going to be a 1:48.4, so must have lost some time through the final sector there and does not improve on his time. Now, Motti, what has happened? I saw a yellow flag there. It looks like he has had a little issue. Now he's going to have to go again, or he is going to be eliminated from Q2 as he does not have enough time to go into the pits to do another lap. So he is going to have to do another hot lap straight away. He does move up into P12, but it's not enough to keep him in the top 10. So we'll imagine here we go for another lap now. Now Pova, what is Pova doing? He's 6 tenths up on his time. He's just doing a couple laps of fun now, really, isn't he? Bray is almost a 10th up on his time. Won't be enough to move him up any places. He does need to find 8 tenths of time to move into the top 4 as it stands. We have Simple out on a hot lap now. Happy is 2 tenths up on his time again. We'll come back to him once he gets closer to the finish line. Now, who is that? What colour car is that? Is that Shay? Oh no, it is Bray actually. 4 tenths up on his time, not improving. Potrow in the Red Bull, is he improving on his time? He's currently sat in P9, 2 places away from the elimination zone, so maybe just needs a little bit more speed to secure that position into the top 10. But it does run wide once again. He'll come back onto the track and set a 1:49.3, so 6 tenths down on his original time, so no improvement there for him. Now Happy it says he is 2 tenths down on his time. I'm not too sure if it's telling the truth to us, but we'll see. And he comes across the line now to set a 1:48.8, so no improvement for him. D Brown will come across the line. He is 3 tenths up on his time. Where's that going to put him? It's going to put him at a 149.4. That pushes Henk down into the elimination zone. So Henk would need to find 4 attempts worth of time if he wants to make it through to Q3. Now, Moti, what time is Moti doing? As he looking like he might be going again, as he's going to need to, as it's not enough to move him up any positions. He did improve by 3 attempts, but looks like he's going to be going for another lap to try and push himself into that top 10 spot. Now, what is T-Ran doing? Looks like T-Ran is not improving on his time as it stands. Now, Pova, you're doing some more laps of fun. He's actually 3 attempts up on his time, which is going to be enough to move into P2, 4 attempts behind his championship rival. So that moves him up into P2. Now, who is next across the line? I believe it will be Bray. Bray is not improving by any means. He's 4 attempts down on his time. Behind them, it looks like Potro has had a little incident. You can see on the back straight there. But it looks like Happy is also on our lap now. Is Happy improving? Yes, he is. He's 1.5 temps up on his time. Now, that is not enough to move up any positions. Actually, it might be just a sneak ahead of the Aston Martin driver of Simple. But obviously, it looks like he is sat pretty comfortable now. As if T-Ran and Morty both improve on their time, it will only be enough to push Happy down into P9. So it looks like Happy will be through to Q1, but we'll see how much he improves on his time as he comes across turn 19 now, then onto turn 20. He's even going to go into the pits. So who's next across the line? Looks like it's T-Ran, and he is 6 temps up on his time. But is this enough to move into P9 as he comes across the line? It is a 148.7, so not enough to improve on his time. Now, what is Morty doing? This is the crucial one. Will T-Ran make it through to Q3? Or will Morty? As Morty currently is up on his time, so we'll see what time the Ferrari driver can set. He just can't invalidate now and just got to bring it across the line. So, 50 meters to go, and it's going to be a 148.9, and that will be Morty out of the session by 1.5 temps. He will be starting in P11 at the race, but there you have it. Morty, Henk, and Racing Wheel all out into Q2. T-Ran just sneaking through there with a 148.7. Who are we waiting for? Simple. Simple even got a wing? It doesn't look like he's got a wing. No, he doesn't. Not too sure what happened to Simple, but we just gotta wait for him to go into the pits, and then we'll be moving on to Q1. So as we just wait for the Aston Martin drivers to push Simple into his garage, we have now got our top 10 for Q3, and that will consist of Sandman, Pova, Shay, Neil, Bray, Simple, Happy, Nesh, Popro, and just sneaking through there is T-Ran. And that is a horrible camera angle. I hope none of you guys race like that. Not too sure why it's put us in that camera angle. I believe it's just loading us into Q3. But there you have it. Monty, Henk, and Racing Wheel all eliminated from Q2. But we will now move on to Q3. And as we saw in Q1, there was 3.6 seconds gap between first place and 10th, and that gap has come down to 2.7 seconds in Q2. Now, will the gap come down any more in Q3? We will find out very shortly, probably in around 10 minutes time. So as we wait for the game to chuck us into Q3, I believe we just have to wait for all the drivers to ready up. We get put on this lovely screen with all the timings. We just have to wait for them to ready up, I believe, or advance. But you can see there the championship leader, 4 tenths off Sandman as it stands, who's currently sat in P2, but obviously Sandman is 50 points behind Pova currently. So, not too sure what's taking so long, but that's not a problem, we can wait. I'm just gonna find out first what's happening. If it's me or the lobby. One of the two. Right, so we are just waiting for a driver to load in. Looks like they're having a few problems. That's absolutely fine. So they just got to leave and rejoin. So once they do so, we should be getting straight into Q3. Sorry for the wait, but hopefully it won't be much longer. And you can see that it ends in 25 seconds, so it'll be automatically putting us through to Q3 anyway. And there we go. So on to Q3 we go, and obviously we know our top 10 drivers. So this is where things start to get a little bit more intense and a little bit more interesting. 10 drivers. Who's going to be out on top? Will it be Pova or will it be Sandman? Or will it be a surprise driver that we did not think would get first? And you can see already drivers eager to get out on track. I believe that will be Sandman straight away. And just in front of him he's got Potro. Just wait for the brake check from Potro and Sandman will be out of the session in P10. Joking, please don't do that. Does look like the Red Bull driver is taking his time to come out of the pit exit though. But anyway, we'll go on board with Shay as he is the first one out on track. Now, right, we got 5 slap up. That's fine, that's fine. So this is the crucial qualifying out of them all. That's this one will determine their starting positions for the top 10. You can see there already in the background is Sandman, the Red Bull and the Williams of Brake. Sorry, is that a Williams or is that an Alpine? It is the Williams. So we currently have all 10 drivers now out on their hot lap. And this is going to get very interesting indeed watching. So just waiting for Shay now to come across the last 2 corners and then we will get straight into his hot lap. Just behind him is Sandman as well, and we know he's got some very quick times, so maybe Sandman wants to back up just a tiny bit so he doesn't get any dirty air off of Shay, but right behind him he has Potro, so not really in the best of situations, but you can see there Sandman has also slowed up. But anyway, Shay now going into turn 1, late on the brake. You don't want to be too late and miss the apex from that corner, but it looks like he has hit it rather well, so good job so far from the Williams driver. Now this is probably the hardest part on the track, especially in the wet. You want to be as careful as you can, but you also want to be as fast as you can. Going through the S section now, and it's looking like he's done a pretty good job of it, lifting off the throttle a tiny little bit, but that's not a problem. I'm sure other drivers will also be doing so in these conditions. Yeah, popping the Sainsbury's. Wow. Anyway, Shay now onto the back straight coming out of turn 10. Seems to have got a pretty good exit. You can see Sandman there also now going on to the back straight. But we'll see what time Shay is producing through sector 2. As we don't have the lap data up. Oh no. Now we do. There we go. So Shay is setting a 1:10.7, so that is a pretty competitive time. But we do know Sandman and Pova are setting quicker lap times than that through Q2. But a 1:10.7 is still a very competitive time. Not too many temps behind Sandman and Pova actually. So we'll see if Shay could be in tension of maybe giving us a surprise and maybe taking pole position. But as it stands, Shay will be taking pole position, but not for long, as I imagine Sandman might be going faster, but we'll see. So the Williams driver comes across the line to set a 1:47, a 1:46.7. Never mind, that is a very decent time indeed. Sandman comes across the line to set a 1:45.9, so we can already see there Sandman's pace. Potro comes across the line in the Red Bull to set a 1:48.1. Then we have Bray setting a 1:46.5. He's 2 tenths ahead of his teammate currently. Next we have the AlphaTauri of Heppy coming across the line. What is it going to be? It's going to be a 1:48.9, currently the slowest of the lot. But obviously you do have more than one lap to set a time. Next across the line we do have another Williams, we have T-Ran in the Alpine that sets a 1:48.9 as well. He is currently 100th ahead of the AlphaTauri driver, so not much in it between them two. But next across the line is Simple with a 1:50 flat. Then we have Nesh coming across the line, that will be a 1:50.9. Then we have Pova coming across the line. Now this is going to be interesting. No, we don't. He's going to be going into the pits. And we also have Neil who has invalidated, so that will be the first lap done of all the drivers. Now the question is, who's going to go for multiple laps? As I believe Potro was improving on his time till he went off track, but I believe the top runners are improving. T-Ran, are you improving? Actually, sorry, Heppy, are you improving? As he comes through sector 2 now, he is 5 tenths down on his time, so he is not improving. T-Ran is improving. He is currently 2 tenths up on his time, so we'll stay on board with T-Ran and see if he can improve as he comes across the comes to the end of sector 2 now, and he's currently 1 tenth up on his time. So we'll see if he can maintain that speed to pull a little bit more of a bigger gap between him and the AlphaTauri driver of Heppy. As he swings his car around turn 17 and 18. And swinging it around turn 19, then all you got to do is turn 20. Now what time is he going to put down on the timing board? Looks like it's going to be a 1:48.8, so it has improved his time a little bit, so now he is less than a tenth ahead of Heavy, so a small improvement there for him. Now Simple is 1.3 seconds off on his time. That's enough to take P5 as it stands, and he is less than a tenth. In fact, he is 700ths ahead of the Alpine driver of T-Ran as it stands. We're currently running in 5th. They still have Neil and Pova both to go out on their laps. And Neil is currently out on his lap, and he will be coming to the end of his lap very shortly. And what time is he going to put down? It's going to be a 1:47.4. That's enough to put his Mercedes into P4 as it stands. Next across the line is a Williams. Now which Williams is it? It looks like it is Shay, who's currently 200ths down on his time, but that is very easily easily gained, and he's only got to find 2 temps maybe. If he can find it through these last 2 corners, that is a big ask, but we can see if he can do it. And as it comes across the line, he's 3.5 temps down on his time. Then following him is Neil, I believe. No, it's not. It's Sandman. Sandman's going into the pits. Now next across the line will be Bray in the other Williams. Now can he improve on his time? We will see. So the Williams driver did not improve on their time. Now we have the Alpine driver, T-Ran, coming across the line. He has improved on his time by 8 temps. That moves him up into P5, slightly ahead of Potroy by a tenth and a bit, who's currently invalidated his lap. Now Pova is also on a lap. Now I believe he has just started his, so he is going through sector 1 now. We will stay on board with Pova throughout the whole of his lap and put some pressure on him, as he knows we're all watching him. How helpful. But we'll see what he can do and see if he can challenge Sandman for that pole position. And T-Ran has retired from the session. Looks like he is. Where is he retired to? Where has T-Ran retired to? It looks like he's retired in sector 1 through the S section, so not good news for him there, but he's currently running in P5. So now Pova comes to end sector 2. What time is he setting so far? It's a 1:10 flat, and that does say fast sector 2, and he has said he's also got fastest sector 1. So as the timing is telling us, he is on for fastest sector 1 and 2, but that might be lying to us. We won't take account for it, but anyway, it seems like it is a very quick time as it stands. As a 1:10 flat was a lot more quicker than Shea. We'll see what time the McLaren driver does set as he comes across the line very shortly. 2 more corners to go. It's now going into turn 20 on the exit, looking absolutely fine. No worries about the back end slipping out, and it is a 145.9. It's only 400ths off of Sandman, so this is going to get very interesting indeed in the later stages. Now I imagine, is Sandman going to have enough time for another lap? I am not too sure, but sorry, is Pova going to have enough time for another lap? I know Sandman is, but will Pova? That is the question. But anyway, you can see there Neil also retiring from the session. Not too sure what happened to him. I think he's retired in the pits. Now Nesh is also out on his lap, going through sector 1 now. Is he improving on his time? 3 temps up on his time. He just needs to find a whole 1 second. Actually 2 seconds. Yeah, so he needs to find 2 seconds throughout his lap to be able to try and get ahead of the AlphaTauri driver of Happy, who's currently running in P9. But anyway, we'll go on board with Shea, as he is currently improving on his time, and it did say he was 4 temps up on his time, which could be enough to take P1. So as he comes across the line, what time is it going to be? It looks like he's lost the back end. He's gone into the wall, and I think that would have been maybe enough to take pole position. He was looking so good until the end there, where it comes across the line to set. Not a good time. That's a bad time. I'm kidding. It's difficult with no assist, especially in the rain. But anyway, we'll stay on board with now Bray. I believe that is coming. No, he has invalidated. Pova, will you have enough time to set another lap? I think you will. So we'll see another lap from Pova, as he's still got 15 seconds to set a lap time. But next across the line will be Nesh, who's currently 1.2 seconds up on his time. Now, can he find the remaining time he needs to maybe move up 1 position? He does run wide, but he doesn't get an invalidation as he comes around turn 20. Now, is he going to improve on his time? He does run very wide there, but it's going to be a 148.7. He's improved on his time by 2.2 seconds. That's moved Simple down into P9 and Happy down into P10. Now, Potro is not improving on his time. Looks like his qualifying is done. Shea is not improving on his time. He is invalidated. Pova looks to be 1 second slower. Nope, nope, nope. That was his outlap. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. Is Sandman gets all wobbly and out of shape. I'm even surprised he's kept that together. He was 3 tenths up on his time, as that just ruined a lot of his time. I do not know, but I don't know how he even kept that together. That was very impressive. But he comes across the line to set a 1:45.3. So even getting all squirrely out of turn 18 there, he managed to set an even quicker time. Now that is going to be a big challenge for Pova. He's currently matching his personal best. Now he does need to find 6 tenths of time, and he doesn't even bother. He's going to be starting in P2. Now I believe P2 does start on the inside at USA, so it might actually benefit him more there. So there is your qualifying for Q3. We have Sandman in P1, Pova in P2, the two championship rivals, starting at the front row. And then we have the Williams locking out the second row in 3 and 4. Then we have Neil in the Mercedes in P5. T-Brand will be starting in P6, Potrow in P7, Nesh in P8, Simple in P9, and Happy in P10. Now I believe off by heart, we do have Motti in P11. And then we have Henk in P12 and Racing Wheel in P13. I think I've got that right. I'm hoping so. But you can see once again the gap between first and 10th is back up to 3.6 seconds. So in Q1 we saw the gap at 3.6 seconds. In Q2 we saw it at 2.7, and once again in Q3 we saw it at 3.6. Sorry. So now on to the race. Now I believe it is 33 laps. I think. Is it 33 laps? We're about to find out. I can't actually remember. We'll find out very shortly, I'm sure. But it does look like we're going to have a dry race. So obviously the drivers selecting their preferred strategy could play a big part here in the start of the races. Some may be starting on softs and some may be starting on mediums. So there you can see the strategy of the drivers now. Where is Sandman? Why is Sandman at the back of the grid? What has happened here? I'm not too sure why Sandman is starting in P13. That is very weird indeed. I'm really not too sure why Sandman is all the way at the back there. But anyway, I'll run you through the order as it's currently telling us, but that is very weird indeed. Now, I want the tyres. There we go. So we have Pova in P1 in the McLaren, apparently. He's starting on mediums. Now behind him, he has the two Williams on softs. And behind them, they have Neil in the Mercedes and T-Brown in the Alpine, both starting on softs. So Pova could be swarmed here at the start of the race with 4 soft runners behind him. Then we have Potrow in the mediums. On the medium, sorry, Nesh in the Ferrari, also on the medium compound tyre. Simple and Happy both starting on the medium compound tyre as well, and Motti starting on the soft compound tyre for this race. Henk and Racing Wheel and Sandman are all also starting on the medium compound tyre. Sandman is like glitching all over the place apparently. Diego is also starting on the soft compound tyre. Now I imagine the people starting on mediums will look to go medium hard, and the people on the softs will look to go soft medium or soft medium soft, or even the people on mediums will look to go medium soft soft. I'm really not too sure what strategy these guys are going to go for. I guess we'll find out later on in the race. But we're just waiting for them now to get round the final 2 corners, and we will be on to the Grand Prix. This is round 14 of Division 1. This is also Season 2. Now we just wait for all 14 drivers to line up. Yes, that's the thing. Diego has managed to get on and join us for the race. Obviously he will be starting at the back of the grid, and he has decided to go for soft compound tyres. So we will wait for the lights to go out and for the drivers to get going. With 3 lights, 4 lights, now 5 lights. And they are underway here in the USA Grand Prix. Now I cannot see a thing, but it looks like Shea has got a very good start. Maybe looking to go up the inside or Pova, and it looks like he is going to be able to do so. No, it looks like he's just run out of track there, and now he's going to be under threat from the Williams driver. That is his teammate of Bray, who's looking to sneak through before the S section, but it looks like Bray has backed out and let Shea keep the position. Now further back you can see all the cars flying through the F section. Now Sandman has already moved up into P9. He has had an absolute flyer of a start. Racing Wheel has moved down into P14. Diego has also moved up 1 position. Henk is now moved up among Neil. I'm not too sure what is happening to Neil, as he has lost a lot of places, maybe some wing damage for him. We move back up for the order. It looks like the McLaren of Pova has stayed in P1. Shea and Bray have stayed in P2 and 3. T-Ran and Simple, looks like they have swapped positions. No, they've stayed in the same position. And now Sandman has got past. Another driver has moved up into P8. He has already cleared 5 drivers at the start of this Grand Prix. You can see there Potro now on the back of the Aston Martin driver, looking to go for a move, on Simple, and it's like he has got the move done, got the elbows out for that move. And then we do have Sandman making a move on Happy down the inside. Looks like, has he got the move done? I think he has, and Happy is not going to fight that one and let Sandman pass. So Sandman now up into P7. So what a first lap it has been for him. He's already cleared 6 drivers and he's only got 6 more to clear to win this race. Obviously not too sure why he started in P13. He did qualify first, so he is on a charge, and now Simple is under threat from Sandman. Now is Sandman going to be able to make a move on Simple? Does not look like it. And a little bit further back we do have Nesh and Neil battling it out. Looks like Neil has got back past the Ferrari driver, and looks like Motti is going to go for a move as well onto his teammate. It looks like he has got the move done. Now it looks like Sandman has had a little problem, as Happy has got back past Sandman and Neil was looking to make a move on Sandman. So not too sure what happened there. Maybe lost the back end a little bit coming into the S section. I'm sure he'll make the ground back up as we go. Bray has already picked up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits a little bit too much, and that's not a good sign already on lap 2. Now Henk and Diego both swap positions. It's like Diego is trying to make a move on Henk, and it looks like he has actually done so with a better exit. Now Sandman, is he going to be able to make a move on Heavy? Does not look like it. Is he going to have a move made on him by his teammate of Neil? Doesn't look like it. Obviously Neil, being sat behind on the soft compound tyres, is going to want to get past as quickly as possible. Now you can see Sandman getting a much better exit out of there by taking a much more faster line. And is he going to be able to make a move on the AlphaTauri? It looks like they're going to be rather close going through turn 17 and 18, so he may be lining up this move along the main straight, but no, he's going to do it around the outside of 17 and 18, and what a move that is from Sandman to move him up into P7. That was a very nice move indeed, and now his teammate will look to do the same and get past Happy along the main straight. He has got the tyre advantage. Does he have DRS? No, it's not being given to him this lap. It will be given him on the back straight, but not on that straight. And it does look like the Ferrari driver going for an optimistic move there. Monty trying to sneak up the inside. He is currently in P10. Now his teammate has just been overtaken by Diego, who's now moved up into P11. Nesh moving down into P10. Now Neil still on the back of Happy, probably wanting to get past as quickly as he can. Obviously being on those soft tyres, you do not want to be stuck behind somebody on mediums, and looks like Sandman is trying very hard to get past Simple here in that Aston Martin, and Simple does go defensive. It looks like Sandman's going to try around the outside of turn 11, but who's got the better exit? It looks like Sandman has got the better exit, but he's also got DRS, so he should be able to make this move. It doesn't look like he has got, yeah, he does have DRS. But even with DRS, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make the move done, and both Mercedes going for a move around the outside, and it looks like both of them might get the move done. Sandman has got the move done. Has Heavy looks like he has kept his position. Sandman has moved up a position now into P6. He now has Potrow in the Red Bull ahead of him. You can see 3 seconds between them two, but a little bit further back, Neil is still trying to get past Heavy. As they all go through turn 19 now. Shea does set the fastest lap of the race. Pova has been overtaken. I did not see that. And Bray is looking to make a move on Pova, and it looks like he has done so up the inside. Incredibly sorry, I've been too fixed on the battle for P7 among Sandman, Simple, Heavy and Neil. But it looks like Pova has moved down already into P3, obviously being on the medium compact tyres. He does not have the pace advantage just there. But it's like Heavy and Neil swapping places once again, as Neil tries to get past the AlphaTauri driver, and it looks like he's going to have to slam on the brakes through that section now, as he did not take the best of lines, but it looks like he's actually made it work, and he's still right behind Heavy, so ignore what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm talking about apparently. But will Neil be able to get the move done on Heavy going down the main straight now? They are stuck in a DRS train, but Neil does have the tyre advantage, so will Neil be able to make the move on Heavy going down this main straight? We'll find out very soon as we're going back on the back of Heavy. And will he be close enough before the 50-meter board? I do not think he is going to be close enough, but is he going to go for a move? Yes, he is. He's going to go around the outside. He's going to give it a go. As Heavy, they do a little touch of the wheels, I think, just there, but now Neil is going to have the inside line going through here. Now Heavy still fights back, and is he going to keep this position? As now Heavy has got the inside line. Looks like he's going to keep the position, but it looks like Neil is just going to budge ahead, but it looks like Heavy does try to fight back, but ultimately Neil did get the better exit just there out of turn 16, so he will be able to move up into P8. Now right in front of him he will have Simple, who will be looking to try and clear as quickly as possible as well. On those soft tyres, you don't want to be stuck behind medium tyre runners. Now as I speak, Pova is still in the DRS of Bray, and Sandman has closed the gap to 1.2 seconds between him and Potrow, and Neil has made a move already up the inside of Simple. Now is he going to be able to keep the move? Looks like he is, and a little bit at the back there we have Morty and Diego battling it out. We saw Diego going wide out of turn 1 there. And that is Potrow going wide, I believe. Oh no, it might have been Diego, I'm not too sure. But anyway, the gap between Sandman and Potrow now is nearly less than 1 second, but also Heavy and Simple are also maybe intention of battling, but Simple will have DRS to the car in front, which is Neil of the Mercedes. You can see Simple there trying to rate the DRS, the toe, sorry, to Heavy, but I don't think it's worked too well, and Heavy has got past Simple before the corner, but Simple's going to brake very late, and he's actually going to shove Heavy off the track a little bit there, and he will be able to keep his position. So Heavy will have to try again another time. And that is a yellow sector 3. Who is that? It looks like the Red Bull's in the wall. And that will be Potrow in the wall there at turn... Oh no, turn 14. So not good news for him in the Red Bull, as those tyres will be red hot and he will be spinning everywhere. Now I'm just going to stay on him so he can make a bunch of memes about him spinning, really. As he slowly pulls away. And he spins again. So we've already got donuts before the end of the race. Being very cautious, and he spun again. Those tyres will be on fire right now, and we are probably missing some overtakes. I don't think we are actually. We do have T-Brand 6 tenths away from Pova, but we will watch Potrow struggle to the pits as he finally comes into the pits now. Okay, we're on board now with T-Bran, who's on the back of Pova and looking to charge down on the main straight. Now, will he be able to make the move before the corner? Yes, he will, and that's another position Pova has lost. So maybe starting on the medium compound tires has not done him well at all. And as I speak about it, Simple and Happy are battling once again. Now, is Happy going to be able to get by this time? Does not look like it, but has he got the better exit out of turn 11? Just like Simple is going to keep position once again and stay in P7. So Simple doing a very good job defending now, but it looks like Simple has gone wide, and now Happy's going to try around the outside, but just not enough track to do so. But is he going to have another chance around turn 17 and 18? It doesn't look like he is going to be able to get the move done, but will he be able to make the move now on the main straight after turn 20, as he will have the DRS advantage? And you can see there, Simple trying to break the toe once again. It doesn't look like Happy is going to be close enough to be able to make a move, and you can hear him lock up just there. So another corner Simple has managed to defend. He's doing a very good job right now defending his position. Now Pova is on the back of T-Ran, but we'll focus our attention. Actually, we'll stay on board with Pova and T-Ran, as they will be the next ones up to a DRS straight. And we'll see if Pova can get back past T-Ran. So down the back straight now, DRS is wide open, and that is a terrible camera angle. We can see how much speed Pova has on the advantage with the DRS, and he's got the move done before the corner. So he's now moved back up onto the podium place into P3. Now Happy and Simple, is Happy going to be able to get past? You can see the speed advantage for the AlphaTauri there. Now going down the inside, looks like after after 2 attempts, third time lucky, and Happy has got the move done and moved up into P7. A little bit further back, we do have Motti and the Alfa Romeo of Henk battling out for P9. Looks like Motti has stayed or moved up into P9. I'm not too sure where he was before then, but you can see Henk trying to make a move back on Motti, staying on the gearbox of Motti to try and get back past, but Motti is on the soft compound tyres, so later on in the race Henk will have the advantage over Motti. Saman is now down to 2 seconds to the gap to T-Ran, and he is also 3 seconds behind Pova, and that will not be good news to Pova in the McLaren, because Saman has made up a lot of places already in the 8 laps that they have been driving, so he could still be in tension for the win here, even though he started P13. As he does run wide there, I imagine he will pick up a warning for that. You don't want to pick up too many warnings throughout the race. You'll be given a penalty, as some drivers has already been given some. You can see the 2 Williams drivers up top, Shea and Brake, both have penalties, and as you can see right there, Diego has just picked up a penalty himself. 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So will Henk be able to get past Motti along the main straight now? With the DRS advantage, I believe he will be able to just breeze past, as we've seen other drivers do it before. Now you can see the speed advantage, and it looks like Henk is going to be able to get the move done. Both of them are low on ERS. I'm giving out strategic information here, but they're both low on ERS, so it doesn't really matter. But you can see Henk actually running Motti off of the track there. Now, is Motti going to be able to keep the position, or is Henk going to take it, as Henk did kind of just barge him off the track? But I mean, what we saw in Brazil in real life between Max and Lewis, I imagine you are allowed to do that. So I guess no problems there from Henk. Motti will be very annoyed about that. But Saman now moves up and passes T-Ran and moves up into P4. Now here we are to see Pova in his sights, 2 seconds the gap to the McLaren driver, and Saman is currently flying right now in USA. So we will stay on board and watch this battle as it unfolds. Now Motti has gone into the pits. I was wondering how he had already been overtaken by Nesh, but nope, he's just popped into the pits to get some brand new tyres on. But now the battle for P3 as it stands is between Saman and Pova. And Saman is closing that gap rapidly. So we will see the battle between them two rather shortly. You can see the gap has now closed to 1.4 seconds. I imagine that gap will be down maybe below 1 second by the end of this lap. You can see it dropping rather quickly, and in fact it is already below 1 second. No, it's not. It's now back up to 1.2. But nevertheless, the gap is closing. So maybe Sandman is going to have DRS before the main straight, but I don't think. Oh, it's going to be close actually. Only one more attempt before he does get DRS. And now he is in DRS zone, and I believe he did miss the DRS activation zone, so he will not have DRS along the main straight. No, it does not look like he has got DRS along the main straight, and now you can see the soft tyre runners are coming in to the pits. You can see the difference between the drivers you saw there. Pova going through turn 6, I believe that is, in 5th gear, while Sandman stayed in 6th. You can see both drivers deciding what gear they want to change in, and they're actually both in very different gears. Obviously, different parts of the track as well, we have to bear that in mind. But now along the back straight, will Sandman be able to make the move here? As he is 8 tenths behind, he will have DRS. And it's giving us horrible camera angles once again. But you know what? We'll stay on board with this one for Pova. And you can see the gap is not closing too much. So it only closed around 2 tenths along that straight. And you can see a massive block up there from Pova, which has lost him some time. But he has gained it back on the exit of turn 12. So Sandman now in the DRS of Pova. It's only a matter of time before he gets past, as we have seen the pace that Sandman has been producing so far. And you can see that Sandman going very wide indeed. He's actually going to get the move done off the track. Now, is he going to have to give the position back? I do not know. I believe he will. It doesn't look like it. I thought the game would have made him take the position back, as he ran very wide there. But nevertheless, he's now moved up into P1. But Pova's still in the DRS of Sandman, so maybe Pova will be able to make the move back along the back straight. And you can see how smooth these drivers are through the S section. Obviously running no assist, they do not have any indication whatsoever, no racing line, nothing. So it is very challenging indeed. But now along the main straight, Pova does have DRS, so he will be able to stay on the back of Sandman. And you can see the gap that has closed already between the two drivers. A little bit further back, we do have Neil trying to get past Nesh now, as they are coming onto the main straight. Will the Mercedes driver be able to make the move on the Ferrari driver? I believe he will be able to, with the help of DRS as he comes along the main straight now with the pace advantage that DRS gives you. He has cleared that Ferrari, no problem whatsoever. He's now moved up into P8. Now Pova still Sandman, but only by 7 tenths this time, so he's staying within that DRS mark and then being able to keep up with Sandman. Now with the DRS wide open once again, will he be able to get past along the main straight? I don't think he is going to be able to, but he is still within DRS, which is no problem at all. He does run a little bit wide into turn 1, but so going through the S section now, still within DRS, which is good news. It is also going to play a part who comes into the pits first and puts on those soft tyres. Now we've seen through other drivers the soft tyres last around 8 to 9 laps. So I imagine if you're going for a medium soft strategy, you can chuck on the soft tyres right about now. And Pova is now outside of the DRS to Sandman. So maybe chucking on softs again for an undercut to, I take that back, he's got DRS. See Sandman just lagging a little bit there for us. I'm sure it is fine on the track and it's just my internet. Probably is. But this battle for first is keeping us on edge. Not getting close enough to make any side-by-side moves as it stands. But they're staying within DRS, so maybe we will see a move soon. But we'll stay on board and watch, obviously. But we do know Sandman has got the pace advantage currently, and you can see there Pova has dropped out of DRS once again. But obviously he did go through the DRS detection zone under 1 second, so he will be able to open that rear wing and gain some extra speed. Now the thing is he going to be in the DRS zone going into the main straight? You can hear a lot of locking up there from Pova. And it's like he has lost a lot of time because of locking up, so he is now out of the DRS zone. But will he be able to gain it back? Now also behind him has got Shea, who is actually catching quite a lot. Or is that Racing Wheel? Looks like it is actually Racing Wheel just behind them. But you can see Pova now 2 seconds down to Sandman, so maybe coming into pit this lap might be a good idea. Maybe start thinking about the undercut or whatsoever. Maybe going on to hards or softs. I'm not too sure which one is quickest, the hards or the soft. But we will hop on board. Oh my god, we did not like that voice track. We will hop on board. Oh no, it's happened again. We will hop on board with the Alpine driver and Simple, and we can see that my words, T-Ran has managed to get past Simple in the Aston Martin there along the back straight. Neil does pick up a 3-second time penalty. And already Simple has dropped out of the DRS to T-Ran. So currently no battles being formed along the grid. All at least within outside of 1 second to each other. So we'll just stay on board with Sandman currently and see when he decides to come into pit. As oh, I say that Henk is now within 1 second of Motti. We are currently halfway through the USA Grand Prix. And maybe actually Pova and Sandman are going for a one-stop strategy, medium soft, because that's what it kind of looks like, and that might actually be the fastest strategy. You can see Nesh there coming into the pits. He has just put on a fresh set of soft tyres. But anyway, Henk on the back of Motti now, within 5 tenths of the car in front. Also, as I speak, Neil is within 1 second of Simple, and T-Ran is within 1 second of Happy. See, it's funny because at one point nobody's near each other, and then they're all near each other, and I think that's Henk actually. Henk spun round. So Henk has lost it, and I know those hard tyres are very difficult on USA, especially through the S section. So he's now moved down in P11 now. He's just got to be careful because this tire is going to be very hot indeed. But it looks like he's got it all together. But we'll hop now back on board with T-Brown in the Alpine as he's looking to make a move on Happy. But he's not even going to get the chance to because Happy's going to come into the pits. Now, what tyres does Happy choose to go onto as he has now done 15 laps, well, 14 laps on those medium compound tyres? So what tyres does he choose to go onto? He does choose the soft, so he's looking to go around 13 laps on the soft compound tyres. Now, I don't know if that will be possible or not, but we'll find out very soon. I think he maybe should have gone a few more laps on the medium, but I'm not a strategy advisor, so that's why nobody should listen to me. But we will now go on board with Shea, who's trying to get past Pova, and the speed advantage those softs have against those old mediums is very significant, and he's just going to glide by and move back up into P2, with Pova moving down into P3. So Pova has nearly dropped out of the DRS. You probably wanted to stay within the DRS as long as you could to try and tag along with oh no, he did have DRS to try and tag along with Shea throughout the rest of some more laps to try and give you a little boost to stay as quickly as you can. A nice aerial shot of the McLaren going through the S section there. And you can see right behind him is the other Williams of Brait, who's just managed to pick up a 3-second time penalty, exceeding track limits once again. But he is nearly within 1 second of Pova now. That'll be another battle we will keep our eyes on and make sure that we do not miss. But Pova now going into turn 12, still ahead of Brait. Obviously Brait did not have DRS that straight. And as I speak, we also have Nesh and Motti very close to each other, and obviously Nesh is on the fresh compound tyres of the softs, so he should look to get past rather easily. And I believe they are coming up to the DRS straight. So who do we watch? Pova or Nesh? And I believe we are going to watch Brait and Pova for the first bit. Actually, no, we're not. The move's going to be done first on Nesh. Sorry, on Motti. So Nesh glides by Motti there with no problem at all. Now moves up into P9 to Ferrari places switching positions. Now we'll move back up because Brait is looking to make a move before the S section. Looks like he has been rather brave there and got the move done, and now has moved up into P3. And he didn't even need DRS for that move, and you can see there Motti taking a new line on the track, going very wide indeed. But now Diego is on the back of Henk, obviously 8 lap old softs versus 4 lap old tyres. I imagine the pace of the tyres, maybe Diego has still got slight advantage, but those tyres will be coming to the end of their life very shortly. So Diego, with the DRS, will he be able to make the move before turn 1? Does not look like it. And no, I just want to take up as much track as he wants, and he's actually going to get the move done. Going into turn 1. Oh no! Diego there has lost the rear end. Got a little bit too happy with the trigger, and because that has hit the wall. So that'll be a nice little relief for Henk, knowing that he will not have a car in front of him distracting him. But not good news for Diego at all, as he is lost the throttle coming out of turn 1. Now anyway, Nesh is somehow being passed back by Motti, so Nesh is going to have to repass Motti this time, and he's going to take the exact same lines he did the time before. And is he going to make the move stick going into turn 12 now? And it looks like Motti has managed to stay ahead, and that is a DNF for Racing Wheel. Now I'm not too sure what that is. It looks like it is on turn, it's just before turn 20, so I imagine it would have been just going into the pit. So we'll stay on board and nil and see what has actually happened. You can see there, just going in to the pits, looks like he has somehow hit the wall before the pits. You can see almost every driver coming in, I imagine they will be just chucking on the softs. So a lot of drivers putting on the soft compound tyres. Almost every driver coming in. That's going to be good news for Diego and Potro, because now they will be back in the race to try and score some points. You can see Shea there coming into the pits to put on fresh softs. Now, will he be out before Sandman is the question. No, he will not be. I don't think so. Actually, it looks like Shea is now in the lead of this race, and he has decided to go put on the medium combat tyres. So maybe he knows that the softs don't go to the very end. Both Williams drivers actually putting on the medium compound tyres, so this might make things very interesting indeed. And Pova has also come into the pits. What tyres is he putting on? He's going for the medium compound tyres. So has Sandman made a mistake here by putting on the medium compound tyres? As, I mean, we know they can do 9 laps, and you're going to do around 1 to 2 laps under the safety car anyway, so I imagine they will be able to make it to the end. So maybe the soft compound tyre was the right choice. And Potro has been disqualified for ignoring a yellow flag. What has happened there? I'm not too sure what's happened to Potro. I think he's tried unlapping himself, and because of that he's been disqualified. But we will wait for every driver to catch up to the safety car, and we currently have a new leader as it stands, and that is Shea in the Williams. So we just have to wait for Diego now to catch up to the safety car, and I imagine it will be in this lap. And and T-Brown looks like he's left and rejoined. I'm not too sure what happened there. He might have lagged out, and good thing it lagged out under safety car, eh? So, just waiting for Diego now to get onto the back of the safety car, and if he does it rather soon, I think safety car might be coming in this lap rather than going for a whole nother lap. So you can see that safety car is in this lap. So Shea will back up the field and get going for 8 more laps. Wait, hold on, lap 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So yeah, 8 more laps. I was correct. So 8 more laps to go, and looks like Shea has now put the foot down. You can see Sandman going right there. And Sandman has actually picked up a 3-second time penalty. In fact, no, he's got a 5-second time penalty. And that's a horrible camera. What's going on? We don't want this. We want to see the rest of the grid. So Sandman has picked up a 5-second time penalty, and that is going to be music to the ears of Pova, as now he has got a good chance of possibly winning this race. And Brait has retired. I'm not too sure what has happened to him. I think he got wing damage. And Happy's cutting every corner he can find. But Shea might win this race now. He's just got to keep Sandman behind him for as long as he can. And if he does get past, stay within 2 seconds of Sandman. Looks like Pova is struggling a little bit with the tyres he is on. But is Sandman going to be able to get past? No, he's not along this straight. So Shea does know he has got 3 laps of DRS, which means that will get him to lap 24. So then there'll be 4 laps of having to defend Sandman with DRS. But obviously those soft tyres will start to get a little bit old. So there's a lot to remember in this battle now for P1. Which is going to play a big part in. Is Sandman going to try around outside at turn 17 and 18? Yes, he is, but he's not going to have enough speed to do so, and he's going to have to tuck in behind Shea until another attempt. And it looks like he's got a very good exit actually out of turn 20, but it looks like Shea has managed to get a very good exit as well. Now, is Shea going to go defensive going up to turn 1? It looks like Sandman's going to go up the inside, and doing so he has actually got past Shea. So now Sandman will be able to charge on those soft tyres, and surely he has won this race now with only 6 laps left to go. He just has to form 2 seconds to Shea due to penalties, and he's actually just picked up a 3-second time penalty. So currently, as it stands, Shea now only has to stay within 5 seconds of Sandman. So he has to stay within 1 second of Sandman. Sorry, he has to just lap 1 second less than Sandman is lapping every lap, really. And we'll see how he copes with that. Pova actually catching as well. He's 1.3 seconds behind Shea. Now, with Sandman also having a 3-second time penalty, Pova could still be intentional of winning this race now with Sandman with an 8-second time penalty. So we will do the gap to the leader so we can have a much more brighter idea. You can also see there currently, if it was to end this lap, T-Ran would also overtake Sandman and move up into P3. So going along the main straight now, Sandman does set the fastest lap of the race. Only 4 tenths off the time he done it in Q1, so he is absolutely flying at the moment. Must be using a lot of his ERS, and you can see that he has used half up. Now, how much has Shea used? He has also used half up. How much Pova got? Pova has not got a lot either. So all the top 3 drivers are using quite a lot of ERS to try and stay within that penalty window that Sandman has got. And you can see Sandman going even quicker than he was just a minute ago. 1 tenth quicker than his previous lap through Sector 1. He is absolutely flying right now. And Diego picks up a 3-second time penalty. And because what's happened there, Happy, what's happened? He is 52 seconds behind. I did not even realise that he must have picked up some damage. Ah, yes, he was cutting the corners at the S section, wasn't he? He must have picked up some damage along the safety car restart. Now Sandman is 7 tenths up on his time. He is absolutely flying right now. Sorry, I say he was 4 tenths off his time in qualifying. That was in the wet, and I'm getting my times mixed up. But Sandman looks to be absolutely flying right now, and with the laps remaining, I imagine he's not going to have a problem one bit at pulling a gap to the other cars. Now the other thing is can Pova stay within 3 seconds of Shea, as it would be handy for him to grab P2, as if he loses 10 points every race to Sandman, then that's not going to be too good for the title coming down to the last race of the season with only 4 races to go. A little bit further back we do have Neil as well, trying to get past the Aston Martin driver of Simple. Obviously Simple does have 5 seconds more worth of penalties than Neil, but behind them is also T-Brown, who is also currently looking at getting P4 due to the penalties in front of him. And that's a Ferrari. Looks like Morty has lost the rear end going out of turn 11. And now he is now down in 9th position. Now that is going to give Diego the position, I imagine. And as I speak, Nesh has moved up past T-Ran going into turn 12 now. He did go very deep into turn 12 there, but he managed to still keep the position. A little bit further up, we still have Neil and Simple battling out for P4, but obviously Neil has managed to get past Simple. So with 3 laps left to go, it's looking like it is going to be a Sandman victory for sure now, as he is almost within outside of 8 seconds to Pova, and he is over 5 seconds ahead of Shea. So it looks like he is going to win this quite comfortably unless something drastic happens. Well, obviously Pova is still within 3 seconds of Shea, but only just, so he might fall out of the 3-second penalty window within the next 3 laps. We'll find out later on. Maybe he would have been a little bit more quicker if he put on the soft tyres instead of the mediums, but sometimes in the heat of the moment you don't think like that, and you just want to make sure you know you can get to the end of the race. So no battles currently being formed on the grid, but penalties will play a part now. As you can see, T-Ran does not have a penalty, and because of that I believe that will move him up into P5. And Nesh will also move up. Actually no, Nesh will stay the same position he is, and Simple will move down into P7 currently. Obviously that will change over the course of this lap and the next 2 remaining laps. Pova has now fallen out of the 3-second penalty window to Shea, and Shea has also fallen out of the 5-second window to Sandman, but Sandman is not gaining as much as he was, so maybe those soft tyres are starting to go off a little bit, and maybe that will be really handy for Shea, as obviously being on the medium compound tyres, you know you'll make it the distance. And maybe we had to pull those 4 attempts back to Sandman and get within that 5-second window and win this race. So now Nesh is on the back of Simple, and also Neil is on the back of Pova. So we'll keep our eyes actually on Nesh and Simple, as we know that if Neil does manage to pass Pova, Pova will regain the position after the race due to penalties. And a little bit further back, we also do have Diego trying to get past the Ferrari driver of Motti there. And Neil has managed to get past Pova going into turn 12. Now all Pova has to do is make sure he does not pick up any exceeding track limits and stay within 3 seconds of Neil, as it is quite important for the championship that he makes sure he does get 15 points rather than 12. I believe, yeah, 12 for 4th, as that will reduce the gap by 14 points due to Sandman having the fastest lap as well. Now if Sandman can do that every race, Sandman will win the championship. So on to the final lap now goes the front runners, and then following them will be the other drivers just catching up. And you can also see Henk trying to get past T-Brown. Now obviously T-Brown will know that Henk has got 12 seconds worth of penalties. Henk's going to absolutely send it up the inside and get the move done, but T-Brown's going to come straight back at him with the exit off of the rear, and that looks like there was a clash there from between the two drivers. Now what has happened? Looks like Henk has gone into the wall. I accidentally went to the wrong driver. But now that's going to lose Henk a lot of positions, and Motti is going to take that position. Diego is going to move up a position now. Obviously, Motti is also going to get P8 due to being there because of penalties. But we will go now on board with Sandman as for the last sector of his race, as he has pretty much dominated this race and shown a lot of pace. Obviously, starting from P13 didn't seem too much of a problem for him in the end. So he's going to come round turn 17 and 18 one last time, and then round turn 19 and 20 one last time as well. Go around the final corner now, and Sandman wins the USA Grand Prix. And because of that, he's been given a 5-second time penalty apparently. I believe he's already been given that, but a solid drive from him. You can see 47 minutes and 52 seconds of concentration there, which is a lot of time for concentration. But you can see Pova taking P3, Shay taking P2, Neil coming home to take P4. T-Brown will be coming across the line in Alpine to take P5, and then following them will actually be Nesh in P6, Simple in P7, and then we will have Motti in P8, Diego in P9, and Henk will come across the line to take P10, the last point position after the incident he had with Motti, I believe it was. And then Happy, he's just coming home to finish the race. Unfortunately, no points for him, I believe, which is unfortunate. He's driven a good race, just had a little bit of a problem along the safety car restart. So there is your final positions. Sandman in P1, also taking fastest lap of the race. Shay in P2, Pova in P3, Neil in P4, T-Brown in P5, Nesh in P6, Simple in P7, Motti in P8, Diego in P9, Henk in P10. Then we have Happy, Bray, Hot Row and Race Mill in P11, 12, 13 and 14, picking up no points. 3 of those 4 drivers have DNF'd. But that is it for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next week, where we are somewhere. We are somewhere. I'm not too sure what track it is actually, but I will see you next week. Thank you.